Welcome to another episode of Data Analytics Chat. I'm Ben Parker, data recruiter and podcast host, looking to share knowledge and insights for the listeners. Today, I'm excited to welcome Sassoon Kosian, Corporate Vice President of Data Science at New York Life. In this episode, we'll explore his career journey, how he got started, pivotal moments, challenges, and also look at current industry challenges too. Sassoon, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Ben, and thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm happy to share anything of value.
Brilliant. I look forward to it. So let's dive straight in. And for the listeners, do you want to obviously share your journey, what inspired you into the field?
Yeah, certainly. So I've been doing data science for about 25 years, and that's a very long time. But I wouldn't say data science has been my only interest. My journey started from my education. I studied several things actually. I started with physics and I was very serious about it. And then I switched to political science and then I switched to economics. I'm also an artist, so many interests, but I really love my job, which is the data scientist role. And it started from early school when I encountered with data and modeling issues when I was studying physics. This was actually at the time when my country, Armenia, was becoming independent and with all the pains. So I remember studying programming, and as you train in physics, some of the courses are about modeling. And it was really fascinating, that modeling aspect, when you get data and try to build theories about it using computer science. But this was not an easy time. We had long power outages. I remember sitting in a computer lab without power and not being able to program. And that was frustrating. So I didn't enjoy the coding part because for example, I had to give tests in written, like pen and paper, programming tests without access to computers. But things changed later on. When I studied economics, that's when I knew that I really love doing data science. So I switched to the field, to the industry, and I started a job with data analytics. And the term data science didn't exist back then. We called it data analytics. So, and I never had any regrets about picking that career. So I started my career as working for a consulting firm and then switched to another consulting firm. So about half of my career, if not more, has been in consulting roles. It gives you a great exposure to many companies, many problems that they face, and it gives you the ability to learn quickly and find solutions quickly. So really, really great experience before I switched to the industry side, meaning to the client side where you work just for one company. Yeah, that's how I would summarize my career has been so far.
Brilliant. And so you've done quite a lot of different studying. Do you think that has sort of aided or shaped your path?
Yeah, I think so. Looking at challenges from different perspectives helps you to be more creative, more open to new ideas, alternative ideas. That's definitely a helpful perspective, having different experiences for sure.
So then obviously you've moved into industry. What are you seeing today? I guess what's a big challenge businesses are facing today?
So that's a great question, and maybe different data scientists will have different answers. But what I've seen in the industry generally, and not only from my own experience, but also talking to peers from other companies. One key topic that I've heard and I have seen firsthand is when you decide to do, as a company, when you decide to do initiatives, it's not always clear that it will be a success. So it looks promising, otherwise, you wouldn't start in the beginning. Having orphan initiatives seems to be a common problem everywhere. In other words, you you come up with the challenge, you solve it. It takes some time to develop it and deploy it, and then you end up having a solution that's not used as much as you thought. And I've seen it with data science projects. It's very, very common with like dashboards. People talk about dashboard fatigue, having too many dashboards. So, as data science or analytics teams, you build models and dashboards, and they are not used. So that's one industry challenge that I have seen, and I haven't seen a good solid solution for that. But we're trying. For example, in our company, we are very mindful of what's useful, what not just what data scientists, our AI and data science organization finds will be useful, but what the business really needs. Because there are many ideas that are good, but they may not be used as much. So I would highlight that, like deciding what to do and importantly, deciding what not to do. So that prioritization, evaluation ahead of time of what will create impact and therefore what will be highly demanded by our business partners. So that's something that we are yet to figure out as industry.
Yeah, I think obviously, I mean, a lot of projects need to be done, isn't there? I think it's obviously choosing the right project and obviously what's going to get the, I guess, end base business is about growth, isn't it? How you're going to get the best return and what's going to make the biggest impact at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, obviously, that's good insight in terms of current challenges because I think many businesses are facing that. Um, and then looking back at yourself, then, I mean, what were the key moments that shaped your career?
Yeah, in my career, I think there are several key moments. One moment was when I decided that predictive modeling AI is the field that I want to concentrate as opposed to general analytics. And I was very happy to make that decision early on in my career. Um, Moving to management from individual contributor, that was another key moment. Um, so, as part of one of the consulting firms I worked for, EXL Service, I was heading the formal title was head of methodology. It was really head of data science. So that role was very significant for me. That shaped my further career. So giving you exposure to so many different clients and different problems. I also wore multiple hats like R&D, training and developing our resources, data science resources, keeping up with the newest technologies and bringing it inside the firm. So we are always on the edge of the current methodologies and doing data mining competitions sharp, and we can prove that we are sharp to our clients. So a very interesting role. And then at some point I decided to switch to the client side, meaning working for a company. So that was another key moment in my career. And that's what I'm doing now, working for a company, New York Life. Currently, I've been doing this for about 8 years, and it's different. When you are a consultant, you do projects and you move on. But when you work for the company, you build something and you stay with it. So you are there from the very beginning, scoping when you are identifying the project, like ideation, scoping, development, deployment, and then redeployment, changes and updates. So you are there all the time. When you are a consultant, it's different. You build something and you end the project and you move on to the next project. So it gives you a different perspective, and I'm happy I made this shift. So lots of learning upfront in consulting, and then moving to the industry. I like that. I like that transition.
Brilliant. And I like where you mentioned, obviously, a bit of shaped your career was when you moved into management. I guess for you then, I mean, and I guess obviously stepping from IC as an individual contributor to leadership is a big step up, isn't it? I guess you've got to let go of technical work, you've got to move into managing people, soft skills. Obviously, this usually comes with it. A lot of business people face is like their lack of training or mentorship, and then also I guess you've got to deal with stakeholders and strategy work. I guess for people that are at that level, when did you feel that it's ready? Did you feel it's ready to make that step up?
So I felt the need when I wanted to do more. Basically, I wanted to create a bigger impact as an individual. And uh, if you have just yourself, you can always do so much. But if you have a team, you can do a lot more. Of course, with larger teams, you can do more projects. You can pick up more problems to solve. Um, and it's interesting you mentioned hard skills versus soft skills. But in data science, you always need to have those hard skills. Even if you are not coding, you still need to have a very good understanding. At least that's my personal approach. I would not to do a project using some methodologies, some techniques that I'm not familiar with. I must learn at least to some extent. If it's a new one, for example, we moved to GenAI, right?
Mm.
Nobody has years and years of experience in GenAI because GenAI didn't exist for so many years. We have to quickly learn. Like I led GenAI projects, but I never did coding in GenAI, and it was a degree of discomfort. But I made sure I learned enough about the techniques, and there are many techniques in GenAI as well. So that's how you can be an effective manager, especially when you have junior folks on your team, and it can happen as well. So you need to really be able to guide them and at the same time keeping the strategic vision. Being in management role is certainly interesting. You get to train different muscles for sure, whether it's communication, client engagement, technical expertise. Being able to convince your very non-technical business partners that you need to do this very technical project and explain them why it's helpful. So that's a skill set that is very critical in this kind of roles.
Yeah, no, I love that because you've got to push yourself. Like, and I guess you pretty sense that I need to. You're at a point in your career, you need to step up, or you want to step up. I think sometimes you just got to go for it, haven't you? Really, like you just got to push yourself. Like, you got to
Yeah.
get out of your comfort zone, and learn something new.
Yep. Yep.
Cool. So, I mean, what's one of your biggest challenges you faced in your career, then, and how did you overcome it?
So there are some consistent challenges that you will face in this kind of roles. So I did mention about orphan initiatives. So that's one of the challenges that I have personally faced. Another kind of challenge is working in large organizations. Getting projects off the ground can be a very slow process for many reasons. So picking up a large initiative means multiple teams will work on it, generally speaking, and they don't always move at the same speed. They don't always have the same level of interest in the initiative, and the funding doesn't come as quickly as you want. So it can be a very frustrating process if you are not patient. So that's one challenge I've been facing. Like projects taking years to start. It's not a nice experience. And I'm talking about really important projects where everyone is interested in. No one is able to really move it fast enough. But that's something that you need to live with. If you want to succeed, you can't give up. So you should never give up. If there is a promising initiative, my approach has been stay with it, understand why it's moving so slowly, be persistent, stay with it, and adopt when needed, adapt to changes. So sometimes moving a big initiative means changing your approaches, because you learn that your initial approach, even if it was very smart, it's going to face obstacles. So adapting to the circumstances, maybe building half of what you envisioned, is the way to move forward. So that's how I've learned to kind of push forward slow initiatives. Another problem I've seen in corporations is politics. I mean, that's something that I don't like, and I don't think many data science leaders like that. But politics is always a part of corporate culture, and I try to minimize it around me. But not much is in my control, unfortunately. This is something that another thing that you need to learn to live with, and I'd like to learn more. Still, I mean, any journey is always a learning. Even though I have 25 years of experience in this area, I'm still learning every day. I learn something new. So I'd like to learn how to handle politics better going forward. And I'm open to any teachings if anyone can offer to me.
Yeah, well, I think it's always going to be politics. It's just obviously it's business, isn't it? You can't please everyone. You just have to go with the flow, shall we say?
Yeah.
What? Okay, so then, what sort of skills or traits do you think have helped you stand out and progress into leadership across the industry?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are multiple skills, hard skills and soft skills. So number one, I would put is having a strategic vision is really important. So it means whatever you offer, does it have significant value? So you need to really understand the business, understand well, and so that you can offer a strong strategic vision to your business partners and making sure that you are solving significant problems. So there are many problems you could solve. As I mentioned in the beginning, picking what you want to do and identifying things that you don't want to do. So that's part of that ability to strategize and solving long-term problems versus short-term problems. So that's one skill that I would say is important. So technical depth is in any situation you need to have that technical depth. So you can't be an effective data science leader if you don't have that technical capability, or at least you need to have somebody senior on your team who is very strong technically and who you are willing to listen to when it comes to technical matters. Ability to listen, I think that's a very important skill to have for somebody who is either consulting for external clients or is a part of like a centralized data science function, such as our group at New York Life. So ability to listen and understand the needs of your business partners, the verticals that you are serving with AI and data science. I've seen too many cases where people come with kind of boxed ideas and that sound good, but they don't really fit in the big picture. So we should always have the ability to keenly understand what really our business partners want to do, and that also impacts your ability to influence them. So if you don't understand them well, you can't effectively influence. So another skill set is building and managing high performing teams where you not only find but also manage them to like the skill set that I'm listing, your team needs to have as well, maybe to a different extent than yourself as a lead, but they also need to be able to understand and communicate. So communication is another skill that you need to have. Data scientists need to be able to speak about what they do and why they do. And lastly, I would say adaptability, uh, uh, to be able to change your approaches, being flexible enough to um, to give up some of your initial ideas, to be able to be flexible, to give what the business wants rather than what you want. So that's another a good skill to have. So
Yeah,
many things. You need many skills to be successful.
yeah, definitely. And I like how you say building a high performing team, because I think it's overlooked quite a bit. I think obviously you can manage a team, but then building a team is completely different, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
it's obviously challenging getting the right type of people. You've got communication. You've got obviously lots of the skills you mentioned. That all you need to put in the bowl, don't you? And mix it up to
yeah,
get success.
yeah. That's right.
Brilliant. And obviously, the world of AI data is, yeah, fast paced. We all can understand that. How, as a leader, how do you keep growing and staying relevant with the rapid changes?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, um, especially like today, it's a very different environment. So AI is moving so fast with the advent of Gen AI. Uh, it's a very, very fast moving environment right now. How do you keep up with that? So um, I my I use multiple channels to stay up to date. So I have maybe half a dozen, or if not more, newsletters that I subscribed to keep me up to date with the newest. And practically any given day there is something new in the Gen AI area. So that's one way. Going to conferences, maintaining a network of like-minded people, reading, proactively reading, searching for specific topics, and just learning, self-learning. So these are all multiple ways, and I wouldn't say I'm doing an excellent job, but because there is so much new, you just don't have the time to learn. But at least for things that I work on, things that are of priority for my company, I try to stay abreast and keep learning, and also encouraging my team, sharing some of the learnings that I have with my team, so that we are all up to date. And
Yeah,
for hard skills, I encourage my team to go on trainings. And actually, New York Life is good on upskilling, so we are always encouraging, and the company has a policy to even help with tuition fees, etc. So these are all things that we can do to stay up to date with newest technologies and staying relevant.
yeah, good. I think obviously, yeah, we need to keep learning. And this,
Yeah.
you got to. It's just needed. So then, obviously, what's your take on the current job market for data professionals? And I guess any advice for those trying to break in?
Yeah, so the job market has always been challenging with data science. It's always hard to find good data scientists. One thing that I have always observed is with new data scientists who are new in their career, they like to experiment. So it's hard to find and keep good junior data scientists, because they like to try something for a couple of years and then switch to something else for another couple of years and then switch again and again. So while it's natural, that experimentation, it also creates challenges for us if we want to keep them. So that's one thing that I've seen. Now Gen AI in the mix, so that creates the new needs, new requirements. So now we need to find data scientists who are either very skilled in Gen AI, or they have that skill set as part of their overall AI skill set. And that's not an easy thing to do. So it's not easy to find good Gen AI resources. As you are very well aware, it's a very fast growing area and there's a lot of hype around it. We know that. So Gen AI resources are really hard to find, good ones, because of all those reasons. So, but AI has always been challenging. It's a tough job market, I would say. And I wonder what you think, because you are in this area as well as a recruiter.
Yeah, I mean, I think from my view and from obviously dealing with many clients, I think it's getting more roles are getting more domain focused. I mean, you've got the technologies now to do a lot of the heavy lifting. I mean, like coding can be done a lot easier now. It's more about now, I think business roles are it's getting more business focused, like actually how knowing the business, the impact that could be made. I've just seen like it's getting more creative and strategic. Like, how can you actually make impact to the business, understanding that. So I think anyone that's looking to get in there is obviously try and find an industry that which you've got a passion for, and spend time there, because I think that's where you're gonna stand out in the crowd, from my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, brilliant then. And then, is there a particular achievement you're most proud of?
Yeah, I would say I put it this way. I'm always very proud to have sort of repeat customers, and that can be both external and internal. So when you build something for your business partner or your client, that is so good that they are after you to build them more of the same thing and more of similar things. So that's a really uh, uh, that's what I cherish the most, building the relationships so strong and delivering what you promised in such a way that that relationship just keeps growing and growing. And it's a very rewarding experience, really. And that's what I enjoy the most. And that's what I'm proud of the most. And I've done it both as part of my life as a external consultant, as well as working for a specific company. I have some really strong relationships right now, and what I just described is happening now, and I'm really proud of it. That's I would say that's the highlight of my career, building these kind of rewarding relationships and delivering for your business partners.
Yeah, no, I love that, and obviously, it's a great trait to have, isn't it?
Yeah,
If you build trust and which shows you can do it, and obviously you create value for your customers, and also they're happy. Like, and they want to, they're investing in you, and you're investing in them, aren't you? So it's a complete
yeah,
circle.
it's a great partnership, really.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks for having yourself on the podcast, and obviously you've had a great career, worked for some great companies. So yeah, the listeners will find the insights really helpful, and beneficial. So thank you.
I hope so too, and thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the time. Hope this is helpful.